been in business for a year and they really need clarity and growing their business. They're stuck and they want to improve their relationship with money and take it to the next level. So I'm looking for 5 people in my next session that I'll be offering. So, and I'm going to be promoting it probably next week, working on the details right now. And so that's what I'm looking for. 5 people.
Cool.
That's it.
Okay. Jorge, you're
Who
up.
wants to go next?
I think Jorge.
Okay.
All right, Jorge, go next.
Well, as you know, I'm in the real estate, the money business, and the solar business. And what I use as a free referral gift item that makes me money creates an extra income stream while adding value to my current business for past, current, and future customers. I don't sell, works for any business. I simply refer the solar gift, free proposal. They do all the work, and I earn from $1,000 to $5,000 handsome referral fees with this easy, fun, sexy, consumer money saving, high-tech, environmental friendly product at no cost to me. Zero down solar energy is the fastest growing industry in the United States. And as a licensed solar professional, I offer zero down free solar gift proposal, saving 33 to 60% in monthly utility costs. It's a great door opener, increases my leads, increases my professional reputation, my business, client report, and my earnings. So I share the sunshine, gifting zero down free solar proposals nationwide, residential and commercial.
That's right. That's very good, man.
Okay.
Actually,
What was my time on that?
one of the best ones to do it.
What was my time?
Okay.
Wow.
What was my time?
So your time is fine because it's 3 of us. I didn't keep track, but I can put this on right now. I just tell you, it sounded
Okay.
good. So one of the
It wasn't too long. Okay.
Oh.
yeah, one of them, because it's 3 of us, we can be comfortable and let go of some of the restrictions. One of the things that you do very well, Jorge, and I'm going to say this to everybody, it's a principle of having a pleasing personality. So when you are speaking like you're singing, or when you're singing, basically when you speak like you sing, it's a very good attribute of having a pleasing personality. So it's very good for communication, it's very good for connection. So when you're speaking like that and it flows and it sounds good and it sounds like a song, it's excellent for connection. That's why people say you have a radio voice and you speak like a radio. It's just so pleasing. So let me just 1 second here. 0131. So now we go to Angela.
Hello. So I've met Jorge. I've talked to Tina over Zoom. So I'm Angela Capernera. I am the owner of Your Mind and Bloom LLC. Your Mind and Bloom has many services we offer. We offer academic and tutoring support for all ages, all subjects. We offer English as a second language. We offer resume and cover letter support and help with writing. We also offer help with college essay writing. I just did that with a client recently. And 1, 2, 3, hang on. And we offer help and support with taking the employment testing and state licensure tests, like CNA, CDL, EMT, police, fire, ASVAB, those kinds of tests.
Awesome. Awesome. Very good. Thank you for being here, Angela.
You're welcome.
I apologize for last week. We had a non-working link because there was a period at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, so so I want to share what I believe is the most important part of what we had on Thursday night. It's good that Jorge is here and Angela is here and Tina. It'll be some reinforcement, and I'll be able to share it, not from the person who prepared the presentation, but from the perspective of somebody who invited these guest speakers. And so David did a very good job. And I'm going to share my screen.
That's cool.
I gotta mute some people here. There you go. So David Riss. So David Riss has been with us for, I would say, just about a year, and he's from Gray Sky Marketing. So if you see this guy, you know, say hi. He's a nice guy, like a brainiac, in terms of being very creative. And David designs, he's a builder of brands. So he really builds brands from A to Z. It goes from logos to websites, and he'll even do like interior design of the actual location where you're at. If I was to go on his website, you would see he's built some big brands. And I'll go after the presentation, I'll show you some of the logos and some of the companies he's been involved with. Just hold on one second here. So I apologize. One of my clients showed up a little bit later on, so I'm having one of my partners taking care of this appointment. Pops in once in a minute just to ask me a couple of questions. That's why I'm somewhat distracted, but I'm getting it done. So David, like I said, I'll show you after the presentation. I will show you some of the brands that he's been working with and his website and everything. But you know, for now, he shared this presentation on Thursday. I'm going through this here. So that's his website, graysky.com. So graysky.com is his website. And so what he shared with us in about 10 minutes is basically the keys to the castle. He didn't say it, he missed it, but it's basically the keys to the castle. And what castle is the castle of riches? It's the castle of clients. And so the formula that he's sharing right here, that's what big corporations are using. That's what small corporations are using. It doesn't really matter what size company you are. That's pretty much it. If you do this, that's what every company's doing. That's the mix that they're doing. If you do this, you're in good shape. If you don't do it, there's some pieces of the puzzle that are going to be missing. And so it's very challenging to do, but however, it's important for you to have all the right pieces in the right place. And so here's what his first thing. His first thing is you can't get reach without frequency. You can't get reach without frequency. So you're trying to reach a particular target market. You're trying to establish yourself and get a market share. It can be done. It's just the level of frequency that you need in order to penetrate that market might be a little bit beyond what you imagine or a little bit beyond what you thought about. And so what most people end up doing, and I'm going to share this testimony, after the event, I sat down with one of the sponsors because I know he's a hustler. I know he's working very hard. And what happens is that once you start to get to that level of frequency and that level of operation, you feel singled out. Because there's not that many people who work that hard, and there's not that many people who actually put that much energy into marketing themselves. So you kind of feel singled out. You kind of feel very weird because nobody's kind of like a workaholic like you, and nobody can really operate at that frequency. So you're going to feel a little bit weird, a little bit singled out, and it's normal. Because it's not every single person that's going to put in that amount of work, the amount of work necessary for their business to become very big. None of us want to become workaholics. None of us want to neglect our families. So here's the solution. Solution number one is if you have a family, if you have a husband, schedule the time with them first. I know I started doing this week. I'm taking time off, from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock just to be with my kids. Because I know after I'm done, I'm basically back at the office. But I want to iron out some time where I know I'm going to be with them. And I want to iron out enough time so that if I stay until 1 o'clock in the morning, that I don't feel bad. I don't feel like I'm neglecting my family. But basically, that's the conversation that we were saying, is that we can't get reach without frequency. It's going to take a lot of frequency, a lot of repetitive stuff on social media, a lot of repetitive stuff inside of these networking groups, a lot of repetitive stuff all over the place for people to actually start to notice you. So if you remember when we had the meeting in December, towards the end of December, I did 4 back-to-back presentations in the evening. And then beginning of January, I did 4 back-to-back presentations in January. I got to tell you, I automatically started getting complaints, and that was the best thing I ever did. Because once people really start to see that frequency, not only they don't operate at that level, but they start to notice you that you're doing a little bit more and you're in their email box every single day. You want that. If you have a person that you really want as a client, or you have a group of people that you really want to notice, you actually want to be in their email box every single day, because that's when they start to notice you, to the point where they're going to get a little bit annoyed. And after they get a little bit annoyed, you're going to earn that level of respect that you want to have. You're going to earn that level of awareness, because they're going to say, you know what, if that person is able to do it at that level, they're really not going away and they have it all together. Although I'm not ready to buy or do anything right now, you're going to earn that respect and you're going to earn that trust just from being there and being perseverant and having that amount of content and having that amount of work. I'm not saying you need to burn yourself out. I'm not saying it's about doing it every single day till you drop. But it's that you have to go through that phase where some people are going to say, you're in my email box too much. You're on my social media too much. Because that means you're starting to get noticed. And when I did that in December and did that in January, I showed up at an event. I did not expect, much out of that event because I did not organize it. I never expect much out of an event if I don't organize it. But I showed up at that event. And little be known, I can say most of the people there knew who I was. I had never met them before. And it was all because of the frequency of stuff that I did on the Business Leadership Mastermind and on social media, the meetups and going and posting in different groups. Most of the people were there like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to jump on one of your things there. And even if it's an excuse, but at least you know that people are noticing and, they can't participate, whatever it is. But that's the level of frequency you want to get into. You want to get into a level of frequency where some people get pissed off. And I'll share one more story. If you guys remember, I had a post at one point where we were very close to 700.
Did we lose them?
Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
Okay. Hi, Andy.
Oh, hi, Andy.
So I know I probably finished up with, we were getting very close to 700 on Meetup. Is that the last thing you guys heard?
No.
What was the last thing you heard?
Weekly event.
The weekly event?
Yeah.
Where I attended the event and most of the people knew who I was?
Correct.
Yep.
All right. So, yeah, that was unexpected because I showed up at the event. Most of the people knew who I was, but it was all because of the frequency of stuff. All of a sudden, I just stepped up the frequency and it just gets some results. So another proof of that is we were getting close to 700 on Meetup, and I put a post and I say, whoever's number 700 will get a free seat, at our next mastermind. So it ended up being a real estate agent from Fairfield County. So this real estate agent, I'm going to share this, and I like to be very honest, brutally honest as we're here. There's some people who are so fragile. For some reason in business, they're so fragile and so irritable. Literally, an email will irritate them.
Yep.
If they receive an email, they get irritated.
Yep.
And so that's what ended up happening when she joined the group, and I was sending the email, sending the reminders, and she got so irritated, she declined. She said, you know what, this is not why I joined for. I can't deal with this. This is way too much in my email box. Like, wow. And she ended up declining. She ended up declining the free seat at the mastermind. And so unfortunately,
Wow.
That's going to happen. That's going to happen. If you're producing content every single day and you're emailing and you're doing things every single day, some people can't handle an email every day. If they see a text message coming in, they get irritated. They see an email coming in, they get irritated. It's going to happen. You're not doing the wrong thing. You're actually doing the right thing.
See, that's what I don't understand. I don't mean to interject, but that's what I don't understand. I'm like, you're in business, so you should understand where I'm coming from.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
People get annoyed with me on Facebook that I'm posting a lot of stuff. I said, but again, a lot of people, they may not react on Facebook, to it, but afterwards they'll say, when I see them, they're like, hey, Angela, that was a great post. I really appreciated that you posted that. You
Right.
know, so again, there are people who want that because something, I don't know, greater exposure, something to talk about. But again, something like that real estate agent, I'm like, why are you doing real estate? I mean, I've dealt with pushy real estate agents, and again, they're the ones who again are going to Disney World every 6 months. You know, because they're pulling in the clients, they're pulling in the customers. But again, you know, it's like, if you can't handle it, get it from me, why should I handle getting it from you? And
Right.
I mean, she's obviously
Right.
not your ideal client if she's gonna be like, oh, I got a free something, but you're sending me. I'd be like, hell, I'll come.
I
I'll
know.
take 10,000 emails. You know.
You know? Yeah, you're absolutely right. So being in business, a lot of people don't actually understand what it will take to actually reach and get a market share, get a 1% market share. It's going to take a lot of frequency. It's going to take a lot of work. But you know, what we wanted to focus on is that level of, there's two things that disturb them. Number one, they get disturbed because they get an email, because it seems like it's going to be too much work to manage that email. You know, first of all, I don't know why you're deleting and trying to control everything in your email box. It's impossible. It's a huge waste of time. Number two, you know, so that's the first thing. Number two, they get bothered because they're not doing it. You know,
Yeah.
Number two, they get bothered because they're not doing it. That's why they get bothered. You know, and so I read these principles, and I did it. I tested it, and it works. So you can't get reach without frequency. Let's get back to this one here.
Right.
Okay.
So this is what David shared, which I think was like genius. You know, he used this sponge of awareness. So the sponge of awareness is how much people actually know about you, about what you're doing. So number one, your logo. You know, if you put your logo out there, can people say it's yours? You know, number two, your website. You know, your blog. So that's where most of us, and I include myself, that's where most of us, we start to get challenged, because a logo is done in one night, a website is done in a week or two, sometimes 4 weeks. A blog is a lot more work. And so you have to find your style to be able to write one blog a day or write a couple of blogs a week. You have to find a particular style. And I think one of the keys is, don't try to write a long blog, or maybe you want to do a video blog or whatever it is, but you have to find your style to be able to produce a lot of them.
Actually,
One person.
Andy,
Yep.
so would you, because I don't like writing, so for me, blogging is not something I enjoy, but that's why I have my copywriter. But wouldn't you, would doing videos be considered a blog?
Yeah, some people just focus on video blogs. Some
Yeah.
people just focus on video blogs. You see it. Don't forget your podcast, right? So some people focus on video blogs, but what ends up happening, if you have a video blog on YouTube, you need like one YouTube a day. I mean, you need frequency. You need that frequency. So that's why you have to find your style. The first week or so, it's tough, but then you'll figure out, like, what can I do that I can do at a large frequency that actually has value? So you need to find that and be able to get on that rhythm, even if it means, you know, maybe you'll block off 4 hours at a time and you'll record multiple for the week, and then you just put them out. But you have to just get into that mode. And so the blog is where most of us, we stop, because it's a lot of production. I mean, Angela, you're good at writing. Not everybody's good at writing and then copywriting and then correcting themselves and doing all these things. That's where most of us are being challenged, but we still need to find our style in order to get it done.
Actually, Tina, one interesting thing about video that I've read is that more people actually click on videos than they do the written blog. So for somebody like me who does the writing, that can be very frustrating. You know, again, I have the capacity to do video, but again, it's just a matter of setting up my studio and my time, so to speak.
Yeah.
So again, if you can do a short blurb, you're more likely to get the audience. And again, I think a lot of people don't want to read by the end of the day, or like, you know, I've had this again a couple weeks ago with a client. You know, I told her, I said, you can see my writing style. I do writing, but I said, again, the writing you're talking to me about is not the writing I'm going to be doing with you. So again, for me, that works because that's what I'm doing. But again, I know video would also be helpful as well.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I enjoy doing videos. I do. So for me, I feel comfortable. It's thinking of the content that I want to talk about. So that's why, you know, I will have weekly themes, and then I want to follow up with the video, so that will reach more people. And so I think if people start to see that on a weekly basis, or not just one video a week, but like you were saying, Andy, one video a day, isn't that an overkill? A video a day?
It feels like overkill, but you need that frequency. So
Yeah.
let's say you do a
Okay.
video a day, and the video is like 60 seconds. So you could sit down on
Okay.
Saturday and block off 2-3 hours, write your whole thing, and record 5 or 6 videos on Saturday, and then release them. You know, it's tougher
Right.
to manage to make some time every single day to go in and record a video, but you could sit down on Saturday or Sunday and block off a couple of hours and create your videos for the week, and then release them. It feels like overkill, but the reality is you need to overkill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, can you, well, I'm going to ask Zeph this, if you can schedule Facebook Live videos.
I don't know if we can schedule them. So the other component that I want us to stress a lot is there's platforms where people are watching your stuff, and there are platforms where people are not.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to figure out what's your magic platform, what's your magic format. For example, I just discovered Instagram. People watch my stuff on Instagram. YouTube, I don't get as many views. Facebook, I don't get as many views. But if I post something very short on Instagram, for some reason, Instagram is working out. My pictures are getting viewed. So wherever I'm able to be myself and people expect pictures and stuff like that, I get a lot more views on Instagram than on YouTube. You have to discover where your magic is. Don't try to go, don't try to go too much in the box, but think out the box and figure out so you can schedule using a podcast company. All right, so that's Doug.
I'll have to look into Instagram as far as posting videos.
Yeah, wherever you're getting the most engagement, you try it. You know, maybe you don't get a lot of engagement on Facebook. Maybe you get some engagement inside of our Facebook group, Instagram. It could be, Snapchat, whatever it is. And you'll see, because it's important for you to know. But most importantly, what we're talking about here is you need to figure out your style to be able to produce enough of them. And like I said, Tina, why not go for the overkill? Let's go for the overkill, because you're going to get beyond that level where, yeah, some people are going to get annoyed. It's because they're too fragile, number one. And number two is because they're not doing it. But most of the people, once they see that level of frequency, it's going to create in their mind that level of safety, knowing that you're there, you're committed, you're not going away, and you know what you're doing. So I remember when I purchased this training called Book Yourself Solid, this guy put me on his email list. He started emailing me every single day. After 6 months, when I needed a training program, I didn't even hesitate. This is the guy that I'm going to. So the blog. Blog is number 2.
Okay.
E-blasts. The email list. If I share with you, and I'm going to write it inside of the thing, and I know Doug is going to love this, the best online marketer that I know in Connecticut is Ryan Lee. He sends 1 email a day.
Mm-hmm.
1 email a day. So he doesn't really do a blog. He's starting to do other things, but he has 1 email a day. Doesn't go 1 day without writing an email. It's always relevant. It's always then and there. I get him every day. I take a look. He goes to a coffee shop, sits down, write his email, and that's 1 a day. And after he writes his little rant, then he died. Stop joking. Are you kidding me? Hold on a second.
Tina, there's a dermatologist in California. She posts like a YouTube video, I think every day or every other day. And she has, again, a whole band of followers, because people, this is how they end their day, is they go watch her perform dermatological whatever on her patients. And what she does is, like, she offers her patients free services, those who will consent to having her video on YouTube.
Okay.
So I don't remember her name, but again, if you want to look her up, I'm sure you could find her.
Yeah, I'm going to try Instagram, doing videos. I mean, I'll post things on Instagram, but I've never done videos.
Okay.
Yeah, and Instagram
Get
takes
to test it out.
You could try it. You try it and see,
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing Facebook, so.
Yeah, I mean, some of them will work, some of them won't. You'll discover it. You know, I like LinkedIn. I want to be good on LinkedIn. I'm starting to get a lot of views and stuff from what I do on LinkedIn. I'm starting to get a lot of views on Instagram. So I'm working these platforms. I go where it works.
Hey, Andy, on LinkedIn, did you purchase the Sales Navigator?
Not at all.
They have a new,
Not
are you
yet.
thinking of doing that?
No.
Not yet? Okay.
No, not yet. Because what I want to understand too is a lot of people. Well, we had one speaker inside of the group that talked about. Yeah, we had one person inside of the group that talked about putting aside money for marketing. I'm not against it, where you can gain a lot of traction when you have money because you can buy, you can do Facebook advertising, you can get ads. It's not a lot of money. But you really want to have an engine that doesn't stop. So whether you have money or not, you should be able to market. You shouldn't be able to. You shouldn't be restricted to dollars. So what happens is if you have a good magnet. So we talked about magnets last time with Jorge. We talked about magnets, Tina. If you have a good magnet, a good e-blast, a good blog, once you have money, it could be $20 a week, $50 a week. It'll just turbocharge. But you have to know what works first.
Yeah.
You have to know what works first. So once you decide, for example, the types of videos that work for you and that people are watching, you can create these videos, put it inside of a Facebook ad, and then boost it. Pay $20 for 3,600 people to see it. You'll get some success.
Yeah.
First, have to figure out what works. You don't want to be putting money, behind ideas that don't work.
There is also Periscope. It's similar to the company's Twitter. If you want to try stuff out.
I used to have Periscope. Yeah, I've done Periscope a little bit. Yeah.
I think if you want to try something out, I did that one time. I, try to show like a sample resume. I did go on briefly and just kind of set it up, use a big piece of paper. So again, if you want to try something out, see what kind of reaction you get, maybe try it there first and then do the video.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. So eBlast, like I said, the best online marketer that I know sends one email a day.
Okay.
Doesn't skip a day. Yeah, some unsubscribes. Unsubscribes are okay. It's not bad. It's okay. You want to get those people out of your list. And you know what ends up happening? Some people will unsubscribe, and then once they see, they'll come back and resubscribe. Don't worry about it. Keep on going. Keep on going. Direct mail. I don't do much of that myself because I think there you have to have a budget and there you have to have massive reach. But what it does is it confirms who you are. So, for example, if I do all these things online and all of a sudden, Tina, you get something via the mail, you'll say, okay, it's not the direct mail that's effective, but it comes as a form of confirmation. So, direct mail, again, that's what companies do. They're all over the place, and then they send you something through the mail. It's confirmation that they're here and that they're present. It's boosting their awareness. Search engine marketing, that's when you need a little bit of money. That's when you need a specialist. So that's getting more and more complicated, but search engine marketing is really, if people are Googling, money mindset, and they're out of Connecticut, you want your website to come up. If people are Googling, resume, and they're in Connecticut, you want your website to come up at least on the first page. And so that takes an expert, and it might take some money. I had one of my clients that did a strategy like this, basically cost him about $400 a month. And then it cost him about $60,000 a year, but he was bringing in, he was bringing in $600,000 a year. So, he had a big credit card, so it was $400 a month. In total, his search engine marketing would cost him $60,000, but he would make 10 times that. So I would take I'll take the $600,000 and keep him moving.
Yeah.
And when people would go on the website, they would call his office. He would have a secretary at the office taking the calls and scheduling, and everybody was happy. So that's search engine marketing. That you'll need a little bit of money to get it done. In the meantime, what you want to be doing is be very strategic with your blogs, with your YouTube, because, when you go in and Google yourself, you see what comes up. You see what Google is pulling, your pictures, your videos, and all that stuff. But, and you know, if you do that, you want all that stuff to come up. You know, if your website is up and stuff like that, it should all come up when you Google yourself. So again, this is another part of the sponge of awareness. Networking. So I promise I am having an event every month. So I take care of that. I'll make sure you'll have a networking event every month and more. I have other events that I'm hosting, but at least, you know, we'll have one every month for people to see you face to face. Print ads. Again, I don't do a lot of those. I did them for the Business Leadership Mastermind, but that's what companies do. And so it makes you a little bit sick to think that you got to do all these things. But like I said, it's a sponge of awareness. If you try to hit somebody just the same way every single time, it doesn't have the same effect as when you hit them from all angles. And remember, you know, there's some artists out there, there's some professionals out there, they don't have a level of talent beyond you, but they have the marketing engine behind them. You know, comedians, musicians, it's not necessarily that they play better music than everybody else, but they have the marketing engine. And people are like, you know what, this music is available, this person's all over the place. They're going to listen to the music. It's a solution just like anybody else. Not everybody's looking for the absolute best. They'll take good enough and they'll take what's available, but you have to be there. You have to be there for them. PR. So that I'll share next week because we had a presentation on the difference between marketing and PR. Martine was there a couple of weeks ago, actually about 4 weeks ago. So she explained the difference between marketing and PR. She explained the difference in the daily activities between marketing and PR. So I'll have that presentation on Facebook. Actually, it is on our Facebook group. So if you go back to the Facebook group, there's an 8-minute presentation on the difference between marketing and PR and the daily activities. Mainly what we need right now inside the mastermind is we need a couple of contacts, people that are actually working with media, people that are working for newspapers, covering small businesses. We need these contacts so we can get in touch with them every time we have an event.
As far as the newspaper people, I don't know about Milford, but Stratford, the Stratford Star, they have their parent company, like I forget what it's called. But again, you need to contact them because then it can go in all of the newspapers. Same thing with the Connecticut Post. You need to contact Hearst Media. It's not the Connecticut Post anymore, so you have to contact Hearst and say, you know, can you please put this in your newspapers? Most of the times they have the free community events going on. So.
And how you spell Hearst?
Hearst. Hearst. If you just Google like Connecticut Post, Hearst Media, it'll come up.
Yeah, it's very important that we start to work on that angle because, you know, all of us, we know when the events are going on, we need to have a reach beyond that. And, you know, that's what we'll do. I know Zeph was able to go on Channel 12 when we had the Momentum Tour. So we have the contacts, we're just not using them.
One thing too, again, doing what I've done over the years, and I know people who work in journalism, unless it's something like really good and juicy, like this is like just completely different, usually they're not interested. Does that make sense? Okay. So in other words, they want something that people are going to go, wow, like I want to go to this next time. Like, you know, if you say I'm having a networking meeting every week, and I know News 12 sometimes does like, what are you doing today? Or sending your pictures or something like that. You know, again, they're looking for something different.
Yeah, they're looking for major events, like
major events.
Yeah, major events. I agree, and I would do the same. You know, they want to cover something that people want to hear about.
Yeah.
So I totally understand. Public speaking. You know, being out there on the speaker circuit. See what Doug says over here. Make America Great Again event. That's funny.
No politics.
You know, so then we had public speaking. And I think the sponge is full. Videos. We're talking about videos, Tina. And then some little pens, you know, little items here and there. So what is so powerful about this is that, you know, it's not a small endeavor. To be able to execute this, it's not a small endeavor, but it's something we all can do. It just takes a lot of work. Just need to put in the time, prioritize family, spend some time with family, spend some time with everybody. enough so that you feel comfortable working late, working early, and doing what you got to do. And sometimes you have to find your style where you're able to touch on these different things. You don't have to write, like I have the tendency to want to write a long blog. Maybe it's not the long blog or a long video, you know, so you have to find your way to be able to corner these things and be effective.
Yeah.
And then this means you must become a content engine. So you need that creativity. And the one thing that he said, I think that discouraged everybody, but everybody kind of jumped. He said, once you're done doing all that, what do? Rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
So you did it with one thing, you rinse and repeat. That means, you know, you did all this, you did it well. All right, go ahead and do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again. And that's the principle of making people aware of who you are. You know, the keys to the castle.
Yeah.
A lot of creativity and work. The keys to the castle. Have some fun. So that was that's what he shared. That is what he shared it was so powerful. I mean, Olivier was there. Olivier was just a great, very well polished speaker talking about the headshots and things like that. But that presentation that David Riss had was just so important. And, you know, I'll post that inside the Facebook group. But this portion over here, that's gold, guys. So think about it. How can you do that to a certain extent? And not to overwhelm yourself, but how can you get it done? You know, why don't we try doing it? Why don't we all just try doing it and see where it gets us? And then we'll adjust and tweak. Some things work better than the other. But even though one strategy is not giving you the results, it's contributing to the overall strategy because it's just increasing your awareness. So that's what it is. So the next event is on 3/16. 3/16. So mark the date. That's going to be at Work Point. That's when we'll get together and we'll talk about live streaming. We'll talk about these videos. That's what it is. But the most important part, the first section of it is really the networking section. You know, networking section, getting to know each other better. We had about 16 new people on the Facebook group today. So our group is going to keep on, you know, getting more traction. So the first section is networking. The second section will let Zeph and Carlos do their thing. I know they are very good. I mean, Carlos himself is just a freak of nature. I can't really explain to you guys exactly how good he is in terms of putting things together and doing things that are outside of the blue, but you definitely want to follow Carlos. So if you think Zeph is advanced in live streaming, then you definitely want to spend some minutes with Carlos.
Yeah.
All right, so let me stop this share here and come back with myself. So that's what it is, folks. So I don't know if we have questions, comments, other things that are going on. What do you guys think about what we just shared? What's challenging? You know, I leave the floor open.
Well, when I look at the sponge of awareness, I know, you know, I do, you know, specific things there. So I don't feel as bad. Sometimes, you know, I'm hard on myself and I'm like, okay, I'm not reaching enough. I'm not doing enough things frequently. But when I look at that sponge, I'm not going to do, I mean, right now, the PR, the print ads, the direct mail, that's not, you know, where I think I'm going to get a good use right now. But, you know, I have a website, I have my logo, I do my emails, I'm doing videos, you know, the video a day. I'm going to try Instagram videos. I have to say that when I post things frequently, yes, I do get more likes. I've been getting an increased frequency of views on my Facebook page, and I've been getting more Twitter followers.
Right.
So I have seen an increase in views on my page and also Twitter followers. Different people are now following me. And then I follow them back. I send them a little note. So I'm, you know, engaging with the people. So I don't feel so bad on myself because I know that I'm doing it and it's a work in progress, and, you know, give myself a break. And I think all of us, I think that's the lesson. I think we're all trying and we're going to get there. It's a journey. And we need to pat ourselves on the back for what we're doing.
Absolutely.
So.
Here's one thing I would want you to do too, Tina. So for example, you see based on the work that you've been doing, how many more Twitter followers and how many views you're getting based on the amount. So think about that ratio. So for example, if you're used to posting, sending one email a week or doing 1 or 2 videos a week, and you're getting, you know, let's say it's 40 new Twitter followers, then think about that ratio as to how much do you need to do now based on what you want to get. So for example, if you want to get 300 views on a video, on a Facebook video, or get to 800 views, you start to think about those ratios. You know, if you want to get, 500 Twitter followers, then okay, I just need to do 10 times more. Or, you know, you think about that in terms of ratio, and that's when you'll start to realize maybe you need to block off some time on a Saturday or Sunday and get a whole bunch of stuff done, enough to create that boost during the week. You know, so you want to be playing around with the ratios and see. Yeah, thank you, Doug.
Thanks, Doug.
That's one thing that I did. I mean, I did my when I did my business plan at the beginning of the week, I looked at the amount that I wanted to get, and it came back to the ratio where, okay, I need to speak to 25 new people every week. You know, it's just a matter of ratio. If I do everything the same and I just speak to 25 new people every week, I'll make the amount of money that I want. Just a matter of ratios. You know, of course, other things are going to change. You're going to find people that are more interested in you. You're going to find people that have more money. There's other variables that are going to make it bigger. But if you change nothing and you just change the frequency, you'll get to where you need to go.
Okay.
So first, you want to make sure you have enough frequency in order to get the level of result that you want. Thank you, Doug. Jorge and Angela, you guys can close it out.
All right. Jorge, you go first.
Well, when I go fishing, the food that I put on the bait is not what I like to eat. It's what the fish like to eat. And I say that because in marketing and that sponge there, it is sickening. I mean, I do it all, and I don't do, some of it like the direct mail. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Absolutely.
You know? But there are some things there that I don't like to do. But successful people do things what most people don't like to do.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go fishing, I have maybe a ham and cheese sandwich because I like a ham and cheese sandwich, but I don't put a ham and cheese sandwich on the fish hook because the fish don't eat that.
Ham and cheese.
Right. You got to give the fish what you don't like to eat in marketing and give the audience what they like. So that means you got to do things you don't like to do. So I agree with that. As far as it taking time away from the family, I fixed that. I divorced my wife and my kids. I left my kids with her, and I just give them money. Now I got all this time to do the sponge thing. You know what I mean? It takes all. Okay. Don't have a job. Don't do nothing. That's all I do is sponge.
Oh man!
And talking about being, I so overblow it, Tina, that I get restricted from Facebook, LinkedIn, a lot of for overblowing it up. But guess what? I trespassed that, took that shortcut until they caught me once, and officer, it won't happen again. So in the meantime, I put out so many ads to millions and millions of people just to get one or two, and that I get restricted and locked out. In fact, tonight, Facebook, I can get back into Facebook at 10:30 p.m. tonight because on Sunday, on Thursday, I put so many ads out there. They said we're restricting you.
Wow.
So that's how you gotta be. I mean, I don't got nothing else to do. I'm not making enough money, but that's what you do when you're not making enough money. Okay? And when you go fishing, you don't go fishing with one fishing pole. You gotta go with 2 or 3 fishing poles and try 2 or 3 different baits like that sponge. Maybe you can't do them all at once and you don't have a marketing team or a marketing budget. But hey, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. Grab two. Grab two. Grab two you can do. The best tool, I don't like the internet. I don't like Facebook. Guess what? But that's what the fish like, right? So I'm in it. So all I'm saying to you is, okay, the best thing is to go out on the street, meet groups, belly to belly, talk to people on the phone, the good old-fashioned way before there was the internet.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Good point.
It's very awesome, and thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm gonna post something on the chat line, guys. Don't take it from me. Take it from somebody else. But take that audio books today. Take that audio book today. 10x. It's gonna taste bad in the beginning, but trust me, you're gonna appreciate it. Just go ahead and get that audio book and listen to it today. Listen to it this week.
10x.
Yep.
Who's the author?
Grant Cardone.
Oh, I like Grant Cardone. Yeah.
I didn't like him. He said he looked like a doucheball, but you know, I respect and I appreciate his content so much, and I understand where he comes from. And I'm much more in tune now, because before I would say, oh man, I don't want to listen to him, man. He sounds so salesy, blah, blah. That's not me. I love the book. I love him. Because it talks about that frequency that we need to hit. If we change nothing in our business, we have the same product, same service, same people, we need to increase the frequency of what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's the book, 10X.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. So it's 9 o'clock.
Hey.
You know, I appreciate, you guys know, I appreciate every single one of you. I will
Thank you.
You know, putting on content.
Appreciate you, Andy.
Yeah, this has been great.
All right, awesome.
Thank
So,
you.
enjoy the week. We'll be in touch, okay?
You too. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
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 Off we go.